Well, hello friends. Today we are going to make a Json encoder for the Visual Builder app, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So I haven't really been working on the Visual Builder for like a few weeks now, so I thought I would get back to it. And the first thing I want to do is I have a way to save. So this is just like the default testing thing here. So this is supposed to be sort of like Visual Basic type UI design app, right? The idea here is that you draw the UI that you want, and then you save your form, and then I don't know where it ends up here, yeah, in temp, and you get this file. Then you can take this file and generate a C++ source code from that you can then compile into your program. That's sort of the idea that I have right now. Maybe in the future that we would have some more integrated development environment, but like this right now would be the place to go. But right now the output here is this ini file format, and I feel that that's extremely limiting, especially because I would like to be able to have objects within one another, for instance. So I had this in mind that I would make a JSON format for this instead, because then that would make it easy to put an object inside of another, because there's no obvious way to put like a widget inside a widget if the widgets are any groups, because like you can't really nest these, you know? Anyways, so let's make a JSON encoder. And in order to do that, I have to actually look up what that should support, because I'm not a super frequent user of JSON, but I am aware of it. So I know that it's sort of what I want, but I just have to cheat and look it up. Is there like a super easy spec somewhere? This is okay. Just hit me with some really simple summary. This, beautiful. Just what I want. So we need these types, and I know that we need like arrays and objects within objects. So in theory, I know all this stuff because I used to work on WebKit, and of course, I even worked on that JSON parser at one time or another, but I sort of forgot how that stuff works, so I just had to cheat and look it up again. But it is all warm in the head somewhere now. So that's really all that I wanted to know. I needed the types, and we need to know that it has nested objects and arrays. So let's put this in ACK, because this might be useful both in the kernel and the user space. So, Jesus, I got a tingly nose. It's the hay fever has been really killing me this week. Okay, so let's see. Let's make a JSON object and JSON array and JSON value. I think those will be the classes that we need. So the outermost thing will be an object, and then you can have arrays, and then every unit is a JSON value, and a value can also be an array or an object. Yeah, and in this video, I'm just gonna make it possible to define these objects in C++ code, and then write out or convert that into a valid JSON string, basically. I'm not gonna do a parser right now, but it'll be a separate project. Okay, so let's start by defining the, which one should we start with? Let's start with JSON object. So this is like, if this is your JSON, then this is your JSON object also, right? So it's just gonna be like, it's gonna be a map from this key name here to whatever value object, and the value object could be like a nested object that has stuff inside it. Whatever. Okay, so we're gonna need a hash map and a string And then JSON object. And the internal storage is going to be a string map to JSON value. We can call that members, I guess, or is that a good name? Fields, keys. No, keys implies that it's only this part here, but it's the whole thing. So let's call it members. Ugh. Frickin' summer. Okay. I guess we're gonna need to have JSON value. I mean, it doesn't exist yet, but wait, what am I trying to press? Yeah. Okay, so then we'll say that JSON object like that. I can even let you. You don't really need to do anything fancy in the constructor or destructor here. And then we can just have some things like member size, just a couple of helpers that make it feel like a normal container class. And members is empty, and maybe something like JSON value get const string key. Members, do we have members get? I guess maybe this thing should be, let's write this out. So find key if it is m members and then return like that. Or I guess what we should really return here is like a JSON value undefined. So maybe this is how you would create one of those. But if we do find it, we'll just say it second. Is that how it goes? I'm slightly rusty on that one. Okay, let's just make JSON value because not having code completion is screwing me up. So let's define this class. Let's zoom a little bit. Okay, JSON value. That would be the JSON value should, if you we should enumerate the types first. Yeah, that will help us know what to do. So what are the types again? String, number, integer, boolean, and null. All right, so let's say null. I can call that 0. Maybe we should have undefined first, actually. Yeah, we're gonna need that, but it doesn't matter what the numbers are. Okay, so integer, double, boolean, string, array, object. Oops. Those are the types we need, right? Yeah. Okay, and then here, oh wait, I forgot to call this something. Class type, okay. Let's say here type. Okay, and JSON value. Then we're probably going to need like a fajillion convenient constructors for this, but we'll just start with this. So mtype, and by default it will be type undefined. No member name second, so it's like that. I always forget how these iterators work. Value, that's the thing I was looking for. So yeah, I thought it was STL. I've been using STL at work all day, so I come here thinking that like it's first and second, but in ACT it's key and value, which I think is much nicer. Anyways, so we got that. Okay, so then this also defines JSON object set. So that would just be assigning a arbitrary JSON value to a key. So const JSON value. Members set key value. I mean, that's straightforward. And do we need anything else here? Maybe we should make like a little iteration helper. So we can do void for each member callback. And we'll do for auto it through members callback it key it value. Okay, see, that'll be real helpful. I think maybe it can even be const. We don't want to mutate the values as we're iterating over the map. I think that I don't really see a use case for that right now, at least. Okay, then let's make up some things here. So we should have one for int, one for double, one for bool, one for string, Json, one for arrays, and one for objects. And we should also have a copy constructor and a move constructor, and then maybe we can be lazy and delete the assignment operators for now. Delete. Okay. And JSON object and JSON array. And we need X string. Okay. We should probably have some storage for this thing too. So far we only stored a type. So let's put this stuff in a union. We'll call it mValue. And we're going to need a couple of different ones. So we can have like the string impl for the call it as string. We'll use that as the initializer, because you can only initialize one member of a union for obvious reasons. So we'll use this one because it's wide. I don't think I'll put anything wider in here. And then we'll do JSON array as array, no initializer, object, and of course like double as double, int as int, and bool as bool. Yeah. It's pretty good. Okay. So then let's see, what do we want to do? Maybe we should have a helper to clear, because we might want to like delete this thing from many places. So let's make a helper for that. We can call in the destructor. And then the destructor is really just a call to clear. Okay, so let's implement something here. I didn't define the array class yet, but we'll get to it. Let's just implement some value functions so we see that we have the right idea. So let's start with that one. That would just be like mtype. I guess it's really all there is to that one. Could even really be inline. Yeah, maybe let's just put that in line. Oh, that's how you want it to look? Okay, well, whatever. Or, you know what, I'm gonna put these out of line just for now, and then if it turns out to be relevant for anything, we can put them in line. Okay, so int value type integer. No, we can't do that. We have to do mValue as int value. Okay. And then we will do double I mean, the primitive ones are easy, right? Because it's just a matter of... Why am I calling it Boolean? Because bool is fine. Bool. Okay, and then it should say as bool. And let's do the array and the object ones as well. And the string, right. So const string. Then what we have to do here is string is freaking itch. Value.impl. So that's the string impl. It's the thing that lives inside of a string. I don't know if I ever talked about that, but basically string is an immutable string class in the sense that it doesn't have any like mutation methods. You can't like append to a string, and you can't change the characters. You can only get like a const character, const char star to it, because it's immutable. And then it's reference counted, so it's really, really cheap to pass around strings because we never have to worry about them being changing behind your back. So the reference counting is just a cheap way of doing that. Anyways, so the thing that's inside of a string is a string impl. So a string object is really just syntactic sugar for a retain putter string impl, if you think about it. So what we'll do here is that we take this thing and we'll say, what's that thing called? Retain if not null. Yeah, so we have to call retain if not null, because we are effectively doing a retain putter now without a retain putter. So mValue as string. We'll just make sure that we add 1 to the reference count of the string. Oh, and we're gonna have to be a little ugly here and do a const cast. Okay. Now, the important part, of course, is that we have to clean these up also in the destructor, or in the clear function that we added. But we'll get to that momentarily. Let's see how this works out. Value. So in this case, I just started thinking that we could also make this easy for ourselves and just do this. But no, let's not do that. Let's do it this way. This is fine. But for the JSON object, we have to make a copy of that. So we'll say new JSON object value. Yeah. That'll be fine. Oh, and you need the copy constructor. Yeah, well, we'll get to it. Implicitly deleted copy constructor, right, but it's okay. Members. Does this work? Oh, there's no hash map copy constructor. That's why that doesn't work. Well, we can just members set int key int value. That'll work. Okay, and then we don't do that, and then the type should actually be object. And then we do the same for the arrays. Ah, man. This nose is so itchy. So there we go. And JSON array is not defined yet. So let's see if we can define that right quick. JSON array. And internally that would be a vector of JSON values. So we'll need act vector. And we'll need act JSON value. And we're going to need some helpers just for the convenience of being able to interact with the object the way that I'm used to. Is empty. Okay, and maybe we'll even do a const JSON. Oh, we can do JSON value like this actually. Or no, let's do it this way. JSON value at index const return. That's what I want. And values at I index. Okay, we're almost there. Now we just need a JSON value operator and index. Return at index. Okay, so I think that would make it pretty nice to use. Maybe we should have something like, because I mean this thing needs to be mutable actually, because you need to be able to build one up. So let's just add a const JSON value, and that would just be m values append value. Maybe we should also have clear. Okay. That feels kind of reasonable. Okay, so let's implement JSON value clear, because that's the guy who has to take care of the different subtypes. And like, if it's one of these types, then we have to make sure that we clean things up properly. So let's see. Switch on the type. If it's a string, then it's ack release if not null. These are the ones I'm looking for, right? Yeah, they were. And value as string, and then m value as string is null putter. Yeah. And then for object, what we want to do is delete m value as object. And for array, we delete the m value as array. Okay. I mean, and these things are all the same as each other actually because it's a union, but I'm just going to have it spelled out anyway. So clearing. And I guess at this point the type should become type undefined. And actually, yeah, maybe we should do this instead. We do undefined and we do this. Because this makes the object be the same as if you constructed it with an undefined type. Which I guess is what we should do after you clear an object. So I'll just say default break. Okay. Yeah, so I think that's a pretty good setup. Oh, let me try to get more comfortable here. Okay. Now, what else do we need? I guess maybe we can go and look at where we want to use this just to see how it should look like. So that would be in the VB form, I think. Save, write to file. Yeah, that's the one I wanted. Yeah, so currently this is what we do. We just open a file and then like printf to the file. It's pretty hideous. So what we should do here instead is, first off, we're going to include Json object. Is that going to pull anything in for us? I guess that pulls in enough. Then let's see how we want this to work. So we say JSON object. Why is this not colorizing? Yeah, there we go. And we can do object, or let's call it form. Or what do we call it? JSON. Let's call it. Let's just call it object. Whatever. Set name. That would be the equivalent of that. And then we are going to make a sub-object of this guy. So, or we're going to make a bunch of sub-objects actually. So let's see. For each widget, we're going to create a new JSON object, widget object. And then for each property of that widget, we'll do widget object dot set property name, property value to string. I think we can do only that to begin with. Because the property values here, they are G variants. So actually we could be a little bit smarter and do something like, what does G variant have? As like bool, float, int, stuff like that. Bool, yeah, okay, so let's do those nicely. So if it's a bool, we can say to bool. If it's an int, we'll do to int. Otherwise, we'll just do it as a string for now. That'll be a start at least. And then what we want to do is add this to the, let's call this the, call this the form object actually. And then after we create one of these widget objects, then we say form object dot set, or maybe this should be an array actually. Should we have an array of widgets? So let's see, JSON array, widget array dot append widget object. And then when we're finished, we say form object dot set widget array. Okay. And we need that. And once we have everything, then we can say file dot write, I guess. And then we will write out form object dot to string, because that's the big workhorse that we're going to make. And then we need a JSON array, so let's include that as well. Okay, so now the thing that we need to make is JSON object to string. That was the point of this whole exercise, right? So let's see. JSON object to string. And I know that JSON objects are not guaranteed to be sorted in any way, so we can just not care about that. And we can just iterate over the members. We can even use for each member actually. So we'll do it this way. We'll say count, or actually we'll call it index. Maybe have a string builder to help us build a string. Okay, and then let's see. We need this because we want to know if we're at the very last one. So if index is not members size, we can even do that. If it's not the last one, then builder append comma. Okay. And first thing we should do here, I guess, is append a open brace and a close brace at the end. All right, and then for each member, we'll say builder append. For each member is going to get the key and value passed to it. So we can do append-f. Or no, we can just use append actually. We'll append the key and then builder.append, I guess a colon. And then builder append value. And for JSON value, we want a toString on that guy as well. I think that's what we want here. Okay, so then let's go and implement JSON value toString. Should be sort of the same concept. I mean, not really the same concept actually, but let's see, JSON value toString. We should definitely branch on the type here, so it's going to be different for different types. So if it's a string like this, then we return m value as string, maybe like that. If it's an array, we return m value as array to string, I guess, and we can make one of those. And for object, we just call not to object, to string. I was so close. Okay, and then for bool, guess m value as we'll say true and false, like that. And for double, we can do string format, do G, m value as double, integer. Why did I call it integer? Int would have been fine. But like bool is bool now. I guess I'll keep it as integer, but we should call it that. Okay. This one is called int. Oh, wow. The inconsistency is too much for me. I'm changing it. Okay, that's better. Right. Did we forget something? Undefined and null. Right. So for that one, we'll say undefined, and for null, we'll just say null. Surprise, surprise. Right, now we just need JSON array toString as well. ToString. And maybe that would be actually quite a lot like this one. So JSON array. But instead of a brace, we'll use a bracket and return builder toString. I forgot about that. Here 2. Okay, and here we can just do a straight normal iteration. Size. Oops. And then we'll say that m values I dot toString. If it's not the last one, then we append a comma. Maybe that's all we need. Okay. Oh, I should add this to some makefile before I forget. I guess we'll put this in libcore. That would be nice. Or does this come in libcore? I can't decide. Maybe this should go in libc actually, because, or it doesn't feel like the libc thing, or does it? I'm going to be saying that yes, it's libc, because we already have act stuff in libc anyway, so maybe this will be useful in libc if I suddenly decide to change the format of like /proc entries to JSON. That might actually be pretty nice. Now that I say it out loud, I realize maybe that would be a good idea. Why wouldn't it be a good idea? Okay, well, not now. Okay, so let's get back on track. Let's see if we can get some error messages out of the way here. No matching, blah, 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 blah. JSON value 35. You don't like me because why not? No matching function for this call to JSON value. Oh shit, yeah, right. There's no default constructor. So I guess we can say that default ones are null. That'd be nice. Okay. And then you want to do a move of what? It's in the set function. These error messages are a bit hard to read. ToString. Well, all right, fine. I'll do a move operator. Jeez. Not delete like that. Okay, so JSON value. I guess move is pretty simple actually, because all it needs to do is just take whatever the other guy has and clear him. So that would be like m type is, do we have exchange? Yeah, so exchange other m type with type undefined and m value as string. So exchange other m value with an opener. Now we just stole his stuff. And we can do the assignment operator the same way. So let's see, I just gotta take care of this goofy case. So if it's not other, because if you assign to yourself this way, which I don't know why you would do that, but if you do, we still handle it gracefully. Right. So here, I guess we should assert not reached if we get to the bottom of that one. Okay, so we have some compiling code at least. You know, I'm feeling super brave. Let's just compile everything and see how this works out. I'm sure I forgot about a lot of stuff. But at this point, I've been writing too much code now, so I need either the compiler or the runtime to tell me what I screwed up, because I lost track of what I was doing. That ever increasing build time. Still, I don't do anything about it. Just sigh about it sometimes. A lot of new people showed up lately, by the way, so hello and welcome to you. I hope you find something you like here. All right, so we didn't implement the copy constructor of JSON value, so let's do that. JSON value const JSON value other. This one is a little bit trickier. So mtype is easy, but then we have to branch on the type. So if it's type string, then m value as string is other m value as string. Retain if not null. Break. Okay, and then if it's an object, then m value as object is new JSON object based on other m value as object. Okay. And oh, and we needed to dereference here, right? So almost there. Okay, and then the other ones we don't have to care because they don't need anything special. We can just copy the value over. So we'll copy the whole value by copying the pointer, which is what we can do this way. There we go. Cool. So let's rebuild libc and then DevTools, Visual Builder. Shit, everything worked. But yeah, now the build broke down in the middle, and then it's not entirely straightforward how to resume that. So we just start over, whatever. It's not a big deal. Am I forgetting about something? I did implement clear, right? Yeah. ToString on a JSON value will do this. This feels like the right thing to do. And on a JSON array, it'll do this. So there's not going to be any new lines or indentation or anything like that in the JSON output. I say confidently expecting that this will produce output. I think, yeah, I have a good feeling about it. I have a good feeling that I didn't screw this up too much. Okay, let's see. All right, we'll just go straight to save. Oof, crash. Why did we crash? In JSON object ToString, we have a null deref at this address. So that's in DevTools, Visual Builder. This address, it's a call to retain on something. JSON object ToString. So we're in here, probably doing this. JSON value ToString. Oh, I'm dereferencing here, even though I'm not sure that that's okay. So let's see, if n value. Otherwise, we should return an empty string, or null string rather. Oh, we can't do that. How about this? Let's see. Okay, let's just make a command line for this. Make c dot libc and okay. Oh shit, it's all screwed up. I gotta clean up libc. There's this stupid artifact still happening in the build system where the libc builds ACK, and then everything links against that, and then the kernel goes and builds a new ACK and ruins the ACK objects so that they are like the kernel versions of ACK. And then if you try to incrementally build libc again, then it picks up kernel versions of ACK and everything gets screwed up. So I should probably fix that somehow. But right now, let's just see what this thing says. So save. Okay. It appears to have done something. So let's see what we have here. And interesting. So I noticed that the strings here, they are not quoted. So we have to fix that. Or the colors, I mean. But we can fix that. Okay, so let's see. Let's in JSON value to string. I guess we should really take the this guy here. What we should be really doing is if the value is a null string, we should probably treat that as the null value. It's kind of weird, like trying to make a JSON value out of a null string. Should we treat that as a string or just as null? I'm gonna say we're gonna turn it into a JSON null value. So when we come in here with a string, wait, so let me just not forget where I was. When we come in here with a string, we'll say if value is null, else. And then we'll do this and type is type null. I think that will make more sense. And we know that if it's string type, then the string pointer is always valid, not null. And then we can do something like string format, and we'll quote it. Characters. Yeah. We'll give this guy a tooltip and put the group box. Okay, let me save. And let's see what that looks like. Oops. All right, so it's looking kind of sensible. I'm gonna have to take this out to look more closely at it. So let's see, let's do gedit. And let's go and paste that into some JSON viewer somewhere so that we can see it. JSON viewer.stack.who. Thank you, Hungary. Okay. this looks totally cool. This is definitely our widgets. It's weird that it's using white text here, but whatever, the viewer looks good. Yeah, awesome. And yeah, the tooltip strings they turned into nulls. I guess, yeah, so that was what was happening with the null strings. And then here where we have a tooltip, it's properly quoted and everything. Very nice. So let's just commit this. We can leave that open actually. And let's add JSON, CPP, and H. And then we can unmount that. And libc makefile. Okay, so let's see. Let's just have a quick look at this. So JSON array, patch review. There we go. Okay, so JSON array toString makes a builder and appends a bracket. And then we just iterate over the values, appending each one stringified to the builder. And then if we're not at the last one, then we append a comma. And then when we're done, we append a close bracket and then return build string. Cool. And JSON array is a class wrapping around a vector of JSON values that just has some basic functionality. So size returns size, is empty returns is empty, and then two different ways here. I don't know why, I just ended up doing that to access them. Oh, it looks fine. Just a way to append. Clear. Okay. Then JSON object toString makes a builder, and then remember the index, because we're iterating this way, so we need to keep track of our index so we know that when we get to the very last item. Oh, actually, now that I think about it, oh, I lost my gedit. Do I still have my paste? I think we should probably quote the keys as well. So let's do that. Let's say builder.append quote. Let's do that. I think that's better, because then if you have a key with a space in it, then it will still work because it will be quoted. Let's just verify that it looks okay. Cat form. Yeah, so now the keys are quoted as well. Tooltip. Oh, that's better. Okay. Did we forget something? No. Okay. Right. So that was JSON object. Just doing with the curly braces, and then JSON object copy constructor only copies the members over, but JSON object is just like a wrapper around a hash map from string to JSON value with some convenience helpers, but nothing fancy. And then JSON value is just a wrapper around one of these data types. I guess there's really not that much here to investigate. I mean, if I made a typo somewhere, then I did, but then we'll find it now or later. I find this type of patch is like hard to review because it's like it's, even though it's not literally repetitive, it's like the pattern keeps repeating, if that makes sense. So I find those like kind of blinding, or I get like a little bit of a highway hypnosis, you know, from this type of code, where you're doing the same thing but in slightly different ways. those are the deletes and clear. Yeah, fine. And then we return to undefined state. Yep. The JSON value has all of these types. The default type is null. So if you just create one on the stack, it'll be null. That's fine. I mean, I guess we can go ahead and implement that one just to be nice. There's really no reason not to. So let's make one for the copy. Let's put this in a function then. So copy from other. Copy from other. Oh, and this part here, right? So M type. And this is like a very easy mistake to make. Is that if you do this and you like make a helper function to implement both the copy constructor and the assignment operator like this, it's so easy with a class like this to forget to clear what was in this object before if you're in the assignment operator. Because here it's like an empty object, so that we don't have to worry about that. But here we might have a string already in the JSON value, so we have to make sure that we clear that out. Very common mistake people make, and I make too. It's just that I become aware of how common it is, so I start looking for it. Anyways, we just needed to define copy from as well. So. Just give it another spin here just to make sure that I didn't screw something up royally. Looks good. Okay. And what else did we have? There's all the JSON value gunk. This union turned out pretty okay, I think. Yeah, it's fine. And then here's the visual builder change, but we'll put that in a separate commit. So let's commit this. Add some basic add JSON value, JSON object, and JSON array. No, add some classes for JSON encoding. You can use them to build up a JSON object and then serialize it to a string. Yeah, to string. Patch only meant encoding, no decoding yet. Okay, and then we'll also add. Oh, let's look at this, because maybe we should also call it form.json instead, even though form.frm, like .frm is a special place in my heart. Maybe I will leave it alone actually, because it was the file extension used by the old school Visual Basic. I'm just gonna leave it like that for now. Maybe someday we'll come back and change it. FRM is cute. So what did we do here? Like instead of just printfing the any file format, we now create a form object. We set the name to the name of the form. And then for every widget, we create a widget object. And I mean, that's a JSON object. And then depending on the different types, let's see, that's in VB form. Widget object. I was thinking if it's no, actually, toString is fine. These are the important ones. Okay, so we create a widget object, and then we add that to the widget array, and then when we've built up this widget array thing, then we add that to the form object under the key name widgets, and then we write it all out. Cool. I think that's cool. So we'll say Visual Builder. Switch to JSON for the form output. This makes widgets within widgets straightforward instead of super confusing. The UI doesn't actually let you put widgets inside one another just yet, but at least now the output format won't be a problem. Cool. All right. Let's look at that nice viewer once again. So I think that turned out pretty okay. It's a JSON encoder. You can build up your objects and serialize them to a string. Very nice. Of course, we're gonna need a decoder too eventually, but right now I just wanted to do the encoder and use it for something like this. So I feel like I'm probably gonna end up using this for more stuff like the proc file system and stuff like that, but for now this is just for that. No, this is just for the Visual Builder. So if you made it this far, then I thank you for watching and for hanging out while I hack. And I hope you saw something interesting here, and do leave a like if you did like it, and a comment if you want to talk about something, and otherwise I will see you next time.